As he recovers from a serious knee injury and the subtle changes he can make to his game to try and preserve his health. More now from the Philly QB as he sat down with Sal Paolantonio earlier this week.
Interviewed you the day you got here, when you were drafted. I know a little bit about you. You're a driven guy. You must be chomping at the bit to get back out there.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, just going out last year, obviously missing those games was tough and just a challenge, especially on game day. You know, not being able to be out there with the guys, and now as we come into the off-season program, to be a part of it to some extent, but still kind of working through the rehab. It can be frustrating some days, but at the end of the day, you know, I have my goal in mind, my target date in mind, and again, I'm confident that I'll be able to be out there.
We see the video of you in Haiti with your charitable operation there, and you're carrying 3 cinder blocks while you're building different facilities there. And I'm thinking, this guy can play football, no problem.
It's a process. You know, just being in Haiti, for one, you know, that was obviously really special to me. Went there last year with Jordan Matthews. I think we've talked about that before, but just seeing a different perspective and how it just changes your outlook on life, and seeing the joy in these kids that really don't have much, and just how much their faces light up when a grown man just even notices them. Some of them are missing the men in their life and that influential person. So just to be recognized, I think we all value being noticed and being seen, and their eyes just light up. And then to be able to bring out a soccer ball or a frisbee or something, they just go crazy.
The game is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
My favorite picture from the Super Bowl is you, Jason Peters, Maragos, Jordan Hicks, posing with your arms folded, right? Yeah, the bunch of guys that were rehabbing on the side but being part of the team. So is that still going on with you guys, with Jordan and Jason and that Darren Sproles and the whole group?
Yeah, so unfortunately there was a handful of us that were injured. But on the flip side of that, we were able to kind of go through the rehab process together. You know, the highs and lows, the mental side of things that
looks
were
like
challenging.
you're all going to be back.
And we're all coming back.
Yeah.
We're all coming back, and we don't believe complacency is or will be an issue with just the culture that we have. But the guys that, you know, had that experience of not being able to play in the Super Bowl, and the guys that were injured, you know, we'll make dang sure that complacency is definitely not going to be an issue.
It sounds like, Carson, you're at peace with what happened. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I'm at peace. You know, it doesn't mean it was easy. You know, it doesn't mean every day I woke up and I'm like, I'm happy I'm injured. You know, that's never the case.
No.
But in the real life, I got to see Nick. I got to see a different side of Nick, and everyone got to see a different side of Nick, and kind of his comeback story and how he was about to retire from football and came back, and now he's a Super Bowl MVP, and what that did for him and his family.
Feeling any extra pressure? How much pressure are you feeling because of how well Nick did that you could take your team back?
I mean, pressure is going to always be there, especially in this town. You know, there's always going to be pressure, high expectations, and ever since I got here, you know, we felt that, and I love it. I love the pressure. I love the expectations, because that's how I'm wired. You know, I don't expect to have a losing season. You know, I expect to be successful. I expect to be playing in the postseason, and that's just how I'm wired. I know that's how Coach Peterson's wired, and everyone in this organization. So all the pressure and the outside stuff, it all comes with it, but we just embrace it.
We started the show talking about a really good quarterback room with the New York Jets. Talk about the greatest quarterback room ever with these guys. How much that helps.
Carson Wentz's humility in terms of how he handles it with Nick Foles' success is going to benefit him when this turns back around and he now is a starter, because Nick needs to treat him with the same type of support and respect that Carson afforded Nick. And it just helps you. I mean, I've seen it work good and bad when I've been in those rooms, and it is such an advantage when your backup is not a guy that's undercutting you, but a guy that genuinely wants to see you succeed. They have that there, and then when the rest of the team sees that, then all of a sudden you can't have other guys complaining about, hey, I just got benched and someone else is taking my snaps, when the guy who's the star in the face of the franchise He knew what it was like to be replaced.
The key word there was genuine, too. That's the one aspect of it that I actually really believe, that Nick Foles, for instance, was already putting Carson Wentz in a situation to treat him that way. These guys are not doing this to manipulate one another to try to get to the top. It doesn't feel political at all with them. But instead, Nick Foles, who, by the way, his background and his story, the fact that he was almost out of football and really wanted to quit and then came back, also helps the humility that existed this past season and will help it moving forward. I completely agree. I don't think it's possible to have a better quarterback room. And people talked about the possibility of trading Nick Foles this offseason. What is the point of that? You have the best possible backup quarterback, and the reason you have that backup quarterback is in case Carson Wentz goes down, you can still make the run. And they did exactly that. Don't change a thing.
How do you like the reload? If you're going to try to repeat, and that's a totally different beast, how do you like what they've done?
I like it quite a bit. I mean, I think that how they've handled the situation, even how Doug Peterson has talked about the situation with the quarterbacks, getting injured players back. I mean,
a lot of
yeah, I mean, and Darren Sproles and kind of the versatility he gives you, Peters. You know, you look at the defensive side of the ball, I think it's easy to say that they've gotten more impact players on that side of the ball. And so there's always going to be pressure to compete. The division, I think you can make the argument that it'll be better. The Giants should be better than they were a year ago. Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott's not going to be suspended. They should be better. Sure. Alex Smith's won a lot of games in this league. Washington could be better. And so it'll be hard. But I think Carson's exactly right. He's like, look, there's always going to be pressure in that town, for sure. And this year will be no different.
I never anticipated that the Eagles' rise. I really didn't see it happening as quickly as it did. I thought the Cowboys, for instance, would own that division for another year or two. Things didn't go their way, and Howie Roseman continued to build the Eagles in a way that, by the way, it helps when you have Carson Wentz balling out the way he did.
Yeah.
Their quick rise did surprise me a little bit.
And now these big expectations, they say that's the new norm.
I think they'll be
Get
okay
used
with
to it, embrace it, and now you're the hunted.
Yeah, yeah.
Always
and by the way,
really
we touched on it before, and you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, and you can get some other good players.
Yeah, that again.
Tough confidence.
When we return, the NFC West has had a lot of moving pieces this offseason. Did each team do enough to get more wins, or will it be more of the same?
Guys that love football, these are the types of guys that we want to be around.
It's nice to start from scratch.
I'm extremely excited.
You know, the rivalry is what it is. It'll be renewed, I'm sure, and I'll be at the center of it again, I guess.